Hello dear students, welcome once again back to Particulate Technology course under the Learning Management System initiative of the Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. So as I told you in the last class, so today I'm starting the sixth and the last unit, which is titled as Mixing and Agitation. So this entire unit will help you learn about the two important unit operations, that is mixing and agitation. So, where you'll be learning about the different equipments used for mixing and agitation purposes, along with their characteristics and problems associated with their operations. So, this is a course outcome of the sixth unit. So, after a student studies this unit, he or she will be able to state the importance of mixing and agitation in process industries and will also be able to sketch and summarize the working principles of the different types of mixers. So these are the important topics that we are taking up for discussion in today's class. So first we need to understand what is the difference between mixing and agitation. So that we are learning under the introduction to the unit, and after that we are learning various purposes of agitation in industries. So after that, we are discussing about the construction and working of a agitated vessel. So what is mixing and what is agitation? So mixing and agitations are two unit operations that are essentially synonymous. That means there is nothing much difference between the mixing and agitation purpose, but in some cases mixing is the appropriate term to be used, while in some other cases agitation is the right term. So let us now see which are those cases in which we can say the operation as agitation operation and the operations where it can be called as a mixing action. The term agitation are used for operations that usually involve a single phase. For example, if you want to agitate a liquid, so to promote the heat transfer, that is, if a liquid is according to the requirement of a particular operation is being heated by a heating source such as a hot liquid that is circulated in a jacket, then if the liquid is agitated, then the transfer of heat from the heating source to the liquid will be more efficient. So to promote that kind of heat transfer or a similar kind of purposes, the liquid is agitated, so then it is called as agitation. So here one thing is important to note that agitation is usually applied to cases where a single phase is involved, such as a liquid, a gas, or a solid, like that. Okay, so mixing is a broad term. So, in fact, it actually involves two or more phases, and the aim is to interdisperse one of the phase in the other. So, a thorough interdispersion of the phases is the main aim of the mixing. So some examples are like a solid liquid mixing or slurry mixing, where the particles of solid are suspended in a liquid. So then a blending of two miscible liquids, that is two liquids which are miscible in each other, are mixed thoroughly to form a homogeneous solution. So that kind of mixing is called homogenizing. Then interdispersion of two immiscible liquids, that means when two liquids which are not miscible in each other are to be brought together for a particular kind of operation, then we can achieve that by dispersing one of the liquid in the other. So when the resulting phase is created, so that kind of phase is called as emulsion. Then also it might be dispersing gas into the liquid in the form of gas bubbles. Then mixing of dry powders with granular solids, So such unit operations are called solid-solid mixing operations, and the blending of thick liquids or pastes or plastic masses. So in that way, mixing is the right term in these kind of operations. So whereas agitation is a simple term that involves the creation of a movement of some kind within a single phase. So let us now take up the agitation in detail. So agitation conveniently refers to the induced motion of a material in some way apart from any mixing accomplished. So during agitation, the mixing also takes place. However, its purpose is very simple. Just like I said, to promote heat transfer within a liquid phase. So whereas the term mixing, which is also called sometimes as a blending operation, is the random distribution of two or more initially separate phases. So the phases may be miscible in each other or they may be immiscible in each other, or it can be of different phases like a solid and liquid, gas in liquid, like that. The elements of the single phase material having temperature or concentration gradients into one another. So mixing may also be achieved by agitation or other means. So let us now understand what are the different purposes of carrying out agitation operation. So based upon the different objectives of the processing step, liquids are agitated. Usually it is a operation carried out on liquids. So liquids are agitated for the various purposes as follows. The first one, blending miscible liquids. That is, if two liquids are to be introduced into one another, then that kind of achievement, that kind of operation can be carried out using agitation, dispersing a gas in the liquid, suspending or dispersing relatively lighter solid particles in a liquid to produce uniformity that is required for promoting mass transfer and assisting chemical reactions. That is, if there is a case where solid particles need to be coming into contact with the liquid phase. So, in that case, the objective may be to carry out the mass transfer or to assist chemical reaction. So, in this kind of applications, there should be transfer of material from one phase to another in mass transfer. So, then thorough contact of the two substances may be very much important in a chemical reaction. So, with that kind of objectives, if the lighter particles need to be suspended in a liquid, then that is done or achieved by using agitation operation. So dispersing or contacting immiscible liquids. So when the two immiscible liquids need to be contacted to carry out a reaction, for example, then that can be achieved by putting the two liquids into a vessel and using a suitable agitator, the liquids are agitated, thereby the dispersion or the contacting between the two phases take place. So promoting heat transfer between the liquid in the container and a coil or a jacket surrounding the container. So this is again a case of agitating a liquid to promote a heat transfer. So in case where a liquid need to be heated to higher temperature, that can be done by having a liquid in a container in which you can insert a coil through which you can circulate a hot liquid or a hot gas. So, or in other case, you can provide a jacket to the vessel in which the liquid is taken and circulating a heating medium such as steam through the jacket. So, in that case, if the liquid that is to be heated is required to attain the heat transfer, that is higher temperature at a faster rate, so you require to agitate that liquid with a suitable kind of agitator. So that is one of the important purposes of agitation operation. So let us now understand the structure or the construction of an agitated vessel. So usually this is a vertical cylindrical vessel which is essentially fitted with a suitable kind of a agitator as shown in figure. So this is a vessel usually cylindrical in cross section. Then this is the agitator that is to, incorporated to achieve the purpose of agitation. The agitator is having two parts. So one is the central shaft and other one is the impeller, that is the blades that are attached to the central shaft. So that actually results in the movement of the liquid that is required for agitation. So that shaft will be connected to the motor at the top. So that motor rotates the shaft, which in turn causes the movement of the impellers, which agitates the liquid taken inside the vessel. So it is provided with inlet and outlet connections, a coil and jacket, etc. So other requirements for an agitated vessel are the inlet pipes for introducing the liquids that is to be agitated. Then it also requires an outlet pipe connection for taking out the liquid after the agitation is done. Then there is a part called baffle. So these are nothing but flat strips of wood that are usually attached to the wall of the vessel, extending from the outer wall to the inner side of the agitated vessel. So we will discuss about these baffles in detail in the later discussions. So right now we just understand that a baffle is that part provided in an agitated vessel in order to prevent swirling and vortex formation, so which leads to insufficient mixing of the liquid or insufficient agitation. So these are the essential parts of an agitated vessel, and this is a pipe to insert a thermometer, so it is called as thermal well, so to measure the temperature of the liquid inside the agitated vessel. So this is very important to remember. An agitator involved in an agitation vessel is a combination of two parts. One is the impeller, another one is a shaft. So impeller is attached to the shaft, and there are various designs of impellers, and accordingly we have different kinds of agitators. So for example, there is an agitator named as turbine agitator or turbine impeller that incorporates a turbine type of impeller. So the shape and the structure of an impeller varies according to the requirement. So accordingly we have different kinds of impellers. So then accordingly we have different kinds of agitators. So as I said in the previous discussion, in order to prevent the vortex formation means the circular motion set up within the agitated vessel due to strong centrifugal force acting on the agitated liquid. So that creates a circular motion, and due to that kind of motion, the surface of the liquid so takes U shape, and later on it gets converted to V shape. So that kind of circulation created in an agitated vessel is called as swirling and vortex formation. Uh, so as I said earlier, swirling and vortex formation will not allow the liquid to get sufficiently agitated in the required manner. So it is always important that you should have some kind of arrangement to prevent the formation of vortex and swirling. So for that purpose, the baffles are used, so which are nothing but the rectangular flat strips, and they extend from the tank wall to the liquid level. So they extend from the bottom to the level of the liquid as shown in the diagram, and usually are attached to the wall of the vessels. So usually some 4 baffles will be there for a given agitated vessel. Okay, so this is another slide showing you the parts of an agitated vessel. The impeller is the most important part of the agitated vessel. So this is the part which is called as the impeller. The motor rotates the shaft, in turn the impeller. So baffles are many times added to improve mixing. So these are the baffles. So circular tip, then a level indicator is also included. So apart from inlet and outlet pipes to introduce and take out the liquids that is to be agitated. So another picture showing you the parts of an agitator. So this is the shaft and this is the impeller. So both together as a combination creates an agitator. So these are the baffles, insulated jacket. So you have a set of YouTube links using which you can watch the videos on the discussed topics to enhance your understanding. So this is what you studied in the today's class. We learned about mixing and agitation, and we also understood the different purposes of agitation, the working and construction of an agitated vessel also was discussed in today's class. So let us go through a few multiple choice questions now. The tank where large liquid holdup is desired, then two or more impellers mounted on the same shaft may be used. The clearance between the tank bottom and the bottommost impeller should be about. So this is one case where a liquid holdup inside a tank is very large. That means a large quantity of liquid is used and the depth of the liquid is quite high. So in that case, to achieve good mixing or agitation, then two or more impellers will be mounted on the same shaft. Okay. So in that case, the distance between the tank bottom and the bottommost impeller should be about 0.5 d, where d is the diameter of the agitator. Or is it equal to diameter? Is it equal to 1.5 times the diameter? Or is it twice the diameter? So usually that clearance between the tank bottom and the bottommost impeller. So in case where two or more impellers mounted on the same shaft are used is equal to the diameter d. So option B is the right answer. The dash operation involves interdispersion of two or more phases. So is it mixing? Is it agitation? Is it both A and B? Is it neither A nor B? So most commonly, when two or more phases need to be interdispersed, it is the mixing. That's the right term used for the operation. So dash conveniently refers to the induced motion of the material in some manner apart from any mixing accomplished. Is it agitation? Is it mixing? Is it both A and B? Is it none of the above term is suiting? Okay. So we all know that agitation is the term that is conveniently referred to the motion induced in a material in some way, so apart from any mixing accomplished. So the main purpose of agitation is to create a induced motion in a material. So that may also lead to mixing in some cases. So it is a option A that is the right answer. An agitator is a combination of the dash and shaft. So you all know that the right answer for this question is impeller, because the agitating mechanism is a combination of shaft and impeller. The shaft will be attached, the impeller will be attached to the shaft, that impels the liquid to create the required kind of motion to accomplish agitation or mixing. So the right answer is impeller. In an agitated vessel, the dash creates a flow pattern, causing the liquid circulate through the vessel and return ultimately to the dash. So this is how a flow pattern is created in a agitated vessel. Okay, so here the impeller is the main part of the agitator that creates the flow pattern, causing the liquid to circulate through the vessel and return ultimately to the impeller. So with that, let me conclude the session. So let us meet again in the next session to learn more on agitated vessels.